This week on Daring Abroad African Edition, we feature Dr. Shadra Katu, an information scientist who has lived in 6 different countries in the past 21 years, including South Africa, Botswana and South Sudan.
I had never thought of leaving the country. I was used to being in the country at a distance from home.
He has worked for organizations like the Nelson Mandela Foundation, the IMF, and is currently the Information Management Officer at United Nations Mission in South Sudan.
Every country has its challenges. Canada has its challenges, the US has its challenges. So it's a constant path towards becoming better human beings.
Catch his story this Saturday on KTN Home and KTN News at 9:45 p.m.
This is KTN News.
Back, you're watching us live on KTN News. This is Weekend Express. I'm Abubakar Abdullahi, and before we went for a break, we were talking matters education, discussing, of course, the atmosphere, the temperatures that is surrounding, of course, KCP and KCSE. And joining me in studio, also my panelists who have been there for the last 20 minutes equally. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for the patience. If we are to continue our conversation, at a time when KCSE is knocking, KCP is done, what often goes through the mind of a student? Dr. Esther, let me start with you.
Okay. I can speak from my experience as a student. When you're just about to do an exam, especially like now a national exam, whether it's Standard 8 or for the Form 4 exam, there's a lot of tension, especially when you're thinking, this is going to determine my life. If I don't pass my Standard 8, I may not join high school. If I don't pass my Form 4, I'll not get to university. So already you're very tense and you're hoping for the best.
And Mr. Juma, to bring you to the conversation, who often sets what Dr. Esther is talking about, that if this does not happen, if I don't get this, this won't happen? Who sets within the minds of students this? Is it the society?
I think it's the society. You know, it's a society, and that's why we have, naturally, we have exam fever. We used to call it exam fever, you know, because especially for KCSE, you know, if you don't get the pass mark to go to the university, then you're devastated. And if you look at the statistics that we have, you know, is that out of almost 700,000 who do KCSE, only about 10% go to the university. Another 15% go to the tertiary colleges. So a bigger, you know, 40-something% don't go to the university, don't go to the tertiary colleges. Mm-hmm. So the question we should be asking is, where do they go? You know, and that's why.
What kind of a challenge then does this pose when you go, when as a student, you walk into an examination room, yes, thinking this is a matter of do or die. This is what will define who I will be for the rest of my life. What kind of a challenge does this pose, even to you as the lecturers, the teachers?
First, as a teacher, okay, at university it's a bit better, because I normally tell my students that, yes, university education is at a higher level, but the tension for passing is less than what we have put for Standard 8 and Form 4 exams. Because like, if you see at university level, first of all, you're tested just for what you have learned for one semester. So surely, if you've been coming to class, clearly you should pass. So the tension is a bit less. But if I imagine for primary and for secondary, already because it's a do or die event, the students are tense. They are likely to do anything to pass this exam. So even the teacher themselves is already dealing with a very tense situation. Anything can happen.
And what is the role of the teacher in dealing with such a tense situation as well?
Try and calm the students, but again, we know as much as we are blaming the government for bringing in this militarization, some of these students are likely even now to attack the teacher if you're trying to prevent them from stealing that exam. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mr. Juma, you seem to be nodding to what she's saying, if not smiling at Case?
Yes. I think the pressure is real. The pressure is real, and that's why you have seen cases of exam cheating. You know, both parents and even teachers, even students colluding to cheat exams, and that's why you have seen the Minister of Education taking, crucial, efforts, making crucial efforts to ensure that there are no cheating, because the pressure is there, and that's why let me congratulate the government for introducing what we're now calling the competency-based curriculum. So this curriculum will move the pressure from exams, to what the student is good at. And that's why you see the other day, we launched something called Great Schools, Great Places to School, where we are trying to say that your school should be able to